Welcome to Chica Clips and Chaos. This video contains copyrighted material that may not have been authorized by its owner. We use it for purposes like commentary, criticism, news reporting, teaching, awareness, and research under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowing fair use for these purposes.
I
Hey,
don't know if you
Gypsy.
heard what I don't know if you heard what I just said or not as you were coming up.
No, I didn't.
Okay, what I said was, it doesn't seem like a big surprise to me and my husband and my family that are not part of the troll drama community. We were
Yeah.
sort of the outcast and the targets. It seems real obvious why those channels were taken down and demonetized. I don't think it's what you're using to stream with. I think it's your crappy content berating people.
Well,
No
I think
one
if
wants
that
to
is,
put advertisement on top of that.
I
Nobody
think
wants
that's,
to do
I,
that.
I think that's true. But also, I think that there is something going on between YouTube and StreamYard when it comes to competition. YouTube wants people to use their platform for streaming. They don't want you using SMTP relays in order to connect to their own servers. But it is true that what's happening to this community is mostly because here. Let me try to turn on, or is echo cancellation on? Let me see here.
I don't use it because when I sing, it screws you up, so I never use it.
Oh, can you turn it on your side so it stops echoing? Just temporarily?
Here, I'll turn my volume off.
Oh, okay. Well, no, it's not. You can turn it on and off real quick. But I think StreamYard is not promoted as much. Have you ever noticed that the people that use StreamYard, their channels just basically sit inside the communities that they already exist in? YouTube does not promote StreamYard streams. It's
That
not.
I'm aware of. Yeah, that I'm
Yeah.
aware of.
So I guess that's what I wanted to get at last night, and I kind of bunched it all in together. So the targeted harassment of people here on YouTube, combined with restreaming, combined with the AI swap, combined with using StreamYard, it just degrades channels.
Give us an example of a channel that does that on the daily.
Mama T.
Yep. So why are people confused?
Because most people in this community, they come from Facebook and they follow Ernie and Benny, and they don't know how to YouTube. They still, after 5 years, they don't know how to YouTube.
Okay, if I could just interject.
Yes,
Benny
ma'am.
always comes up. Ernie always comes up.
Right.
We have been telling her that since me and Sarah were mods for her and she just started her channel. So why is she confused?
I think it's an insecurity on her end. I don't think she'll come up.
Okay, now here's my 2 cents on that. It's not just because she doesn't cam up. It's because the minute you turn on her channel, you hear nothing but hate bonding.
Yeah.
If you owned Colgate, Crest toothpaste, and you're the CEO of Colgate and Crest, do you want your commercial on top of that? Yes or
Oh,
no?
God, no. If I
No,
was
you
the
don't.
CEO of Colgate, I would never replace my ads over Mama T or Nicolina's channel, especially Nicolina, because she doesn't get her teeth worked on ever. So I definitely wouldn't want to promote, teeth whitening on those channels.
I just picked something out of the sky because that was an account I had at one time when I worked for an ad agency. Or let's just say
Oh, wow.
Kraft was another one. Kraft mac and cheese.
Nice.
I'm going to tell you some history. When I worked for this agency and Pepsi was coming in, they would come through, get rid of all your Coca-Cola products right now and make sure that the sign, I'd have to make a marquee that said, welcome Pepsi Cola.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the same thing with Kraft. You couldn't have anything sitting out on your desk. That was the the oppo.
Yeah.
So my thing is, every time you put something out, ask yourself, is that something that if I were at home and I turned on the TV and there was a commercial, would they really want that tied to a hate bonding community? Yes or no?
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't want
No,
that.
they wouldn't. So let's just say, and I'm not trying to sound condescending, I'm really not, but let's just say on that note, why would anybody scratch their head at any of those channels, i.e. the asylum, being banned?
Well, the asylum's ban, I think, has to do with a certain content creator who has,
That's too easy.
porn
That's
bombed
too
multiple times.
easy. Well,
No, it did
because
happen. Last week she did it. She showed nudity on panel, and she's done it twice on his panel this year.
do you know
So
how easy it would be for me to say, it's Nicolina's fault that I have to rebrand? It's my own fault I chose that name. I have no one to blame but myself. I chose that name. It's too easy to blame another creator. At some point, take self-responsibility and say, I am part of a toxic community that Pepsi doesn't want to pay you for.
that's true. You're right. I mean, you are right. But it is true what she did. But at the
It's
same
not
time,
rocket
the overall
science
the,
here,
the
guys.
overall
How about stop creating a bunch of fucking hate garbage? Let's move on to the new millennium. That was all in 2019, back during COVID, and everyone was pissed off at the world. Nobody wants to be attached to that anymore. And everyone's educated about narcissistic personality disorder. And so we recognize it. So do advertisers.
So what's in this particular case? Let's say like with the asylum, is the solution to just not have panels anymore? Because
That's
in
not
order
what I'm
to,
saying.
because you're
I'm
saying
saying
they should edit their content. They should,
when you have panels, it should look organized
yeah.
and respectful, just like if you were watching Phil Donahue.
Oh wow, yeah, that's never going to happen on the asylum.
Well, then, don't be surprised the advertisers don't want to put their name on it.
Right, you're right. Yeah, that's funny.
I'm not saying you have to change anything, but if you're expecting to get paid, think about common sense here, folks. This stuff would have been put on the air, midnight, way back in the MTV era when we weren't allowed to watch Headbangers Ball after midnight.
Yeah.
It's the same concept.
So
now, would an advertiser want to put their name on someone picking Gypsy Soul apart? Damn, they're not even letting her. They're criticizing every minute detail of this person. Why would they want to put their advertising brand on that?
Well, if you ask them directly, they wouldn't. But it automatically happens, through the system. But then it eventually gets flagged and taken care of,
So my point again, I'm not trying to sound condescending. It's your content. Stop trolling. Do something creative. Now, when you told Nicolina this a year ago, and then a year ago, and then another year ago, she's been told this every year. She said, well, I'm not changing my repertoire. Then don't bitch when you've got to use Lion Mama's channel. I don't want to hear, well, I lost all my videos of my daughter. You knew this. You're a troll community. Why are
I don't understand that.
Shocked? No,
yeah.
You're not shocked at all. You expected this because you say you're educated.
Right.
Okay? It's your goddamn content, folks. Come on.
Well, you and I both
other creators and maybe get out your crayon box. That's all I'm saying. Get out your crayon box.
Well, I think that the Mean Girls are holding on. Yeah, you're like, let me get off my soapbox. I think that the Mean Girls are holding on to like a last vestige of like a little group from, the 2022, 2021 era when it first started with McKenna and all that jazz. But the thing is, it's 2026, so YouTube's moving on. And this is just the beginning. What I covered last night, Gypsy, I made a list of channels that have been banned and demonetized. That list is just going to get larger.
Of course it is.
Yeah, and I can't wait. And I'll do more streams. I plan on doing like a whole series. We'll call it the Great YouTube Extinction of 2026.
Yeah. And honestly, I am a vlog channel. I'm vlogging my life for when I'm not here anymore. And it really doesn't matter to me. I only make $50 every 2 months. I'm still going to do this because my purpose is bigger than this community. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, so let me ask you, do you enjoy your vertical streams more or your StreamYard streams more?
To watch or do?
Both. I want to know your opinion on it.
To watch, I prefer my StreamYard. Because I feel like I'm sitting down and I'm watching a TV show. I'm Oprah for an hour. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And that's what I want it to look like. And that was the content I set out to put out was the YouTube Oprah. And then I got sidetracked.
Sure.
But I'm trying to bring it back to that sort of type thing. I want to do more travel vlogging, but I have things planned in the future that I'm going to just bring this whole thing along. But it's easier to just flip it on, it really is. And I don't have to edit and all this other stuff. I just in my car, hit go live. And that is easy for me. And I don't, like I had started out with a GoPro and all that stuff. And I'm too lazy to, when I get home, upload the GoPro video, and all that shit. I'm not going to do it. It'll sit there for months, which it has. I am like in the moment kind of thing. And being an IRL streamer, I can't plan that event. So I didn't get you're not going to get a notification from my channel ever, because every time I try to plan something, life happens and I don't go live at that time. So it's never done me any justice to plan it. If I'm an IRL streamer, I never know when something's going to pop off. So I just go live.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I think that you're right. Your StreamYard streams are more polished and it looks better. So like, look at us, we have our own little titles, we have our avatars, you have your background, it looks more professional, like you have your banner. So I guess by the way, before I make my statement, hello, my YouTube wife has entered the side chat, Mags of the 606.
She's on YouTube.
Hey,
I love her content. Hers is original.
Yeah, she's my YouTube wife. So hello, YouTube wife. But I guess the question then becomes, why is it that YouTube wants, if StreamYard is more professional, as it obviously is, why isn't YouTube pushing this into the algorithm?
That I don't know. That I don't
Why
know. But I
why do
get
they
20
prefer
views
you
out of
to
the
just go
day.
live from your phone vertically and
Right.
the content's not as polished, right? None of us
Right.
have polished vertical content. Let's be honest.
No. Well, when I go vertical like this, it doesn't get pushed. But if I go vertical just raw, it
From
gets
from
pushed.
YouTube. From YouTube.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? There's a bias going on. Something's
They do
happening.
not promote this.
I don't know what it is. I feel like I want to go to YouTube headquarters and like ask them about it. To be like, hey.
I just send the messages and they always respond and give me, this is what you need to do if you're having this problem. And if I'm wanting to move away from this community because it's so toxic and it's not good for your channel, it doesn't help your views, it doesn't help your penny bank, it doesn't help your mental health. So why continue to engage in it? They told me you need to start blocking these people so that we know you don't want that.
Right.
I said, well, I was told in the beginning if I block them, it would kill my algorithm. And they said, no, it will just put you in a different algorithm. I said, oh, I'm going to start blocking these sons of bitches then.
Yeah, but then you get into watch parties on Discord, restreaming. They try to take away your
They can
clout.
do whatever they already do anyway.
Yeah.
Not going to hurt me one bit because my family, who I'm doing this for, is still going to watch me. So I don't care.
Sure. I understand.
And those views, let's just be honest. When I know that Freeside has 150 accounts, I was a mod at Jimbo's. They said on your sock accounts come in. So I know that the views are inflated. They're not real.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's just Freeside with his 100 accounts. Oh, that's just Nicolina with her 100 accounts. They're not real people.
So I've only ever had one alt account because what I did was I separated normal YouTube from this community's YouTube. And I made a separate account, like just for the drama community. But I've since deleted that and I merged all of my accounts together just under my main channel. Because I didn't. What did you do?
Everybody was like, why did she create all those other accounts? Well, because you wanted me to create all these accounts and then come in under them to boost his views, right? Yes. Right. Well, I'm going to do it for myself.
Why do you think that they were doing that? Why were they trying to constantly boost Jimbo's views like that with sock accounts?
To make Ernie mad.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And was it just the Stan fam that was doing it, or was it like Mean Girls as well?
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, between you and I, now that it's all said and done, that's why I became a mean girl for 36 hours, so I can find out what the whole deal was. Then when I found out what the whole deal was, I went and applied it for myself to myself.
There you go. Well, there is one thing you said earlier. I was at the post office and I was listening. And I was like talking to a worker while listening to you in my headset. But I wanted to go back to something you said. You said you'd been like ousted or banished. Mm-hmm. I don't think that that's the case.
Really, who promotes me and it's not negative in my chat and actually comes and watches me and says, hey, you should go watch this and shares my stream? Name one person. Okay, I made my point.
Well, I mean, if you want to try to find someone that's done all of those things, it might be hard. But I mean, there's obviously people coming into your chat. I'm on panel. I support and like your videos. Have I ever shared out your video? Like, have I met all the criteria that you just lined out? Maybe not.
Well, that's but I mean, somebody you like. That's how I know I'm ousted.
Well, see, I disagree with that. I don't like
do it for other people. See, you will do it for those that are like kind, which are in that swarm of bees. You'll do it for Constance. You'll do it for Rabbit. You'll do it for Mark, but you won't do it for Gypsy. Why? Because I'm not part of that swarm of bees. The troll farm. So
the only channel that I've ever shared out is Mark's, and that's just because he would beg me to share out his channels. And I don't even like sharing out channels, to be honest with you, because I don't want my community posts to become a spam thing, like where I'm spamming people's channels and stuff. If you look at all these,
away from what my point was. You have done all of those collectively for all the people in that swarm, but y'all don't, Gypsy. That's how I know.
That's how you know what?
Y'all make it real obvious when someone's not part of that swarm of bees. Y'all don't pile up in her chat. Y'all don't promote her content. You don't share her content. You don't clip her content. That's how I know. It's obvious. So if y'all thought that y'all weren't making it obvious, y'all made it real obvious.
Okay.
Okay. So if you wanted me to think that I was part of y'all, you didn't succeed. I've always known, oh, I'm treated a little differently here because I'm not part of that swarm of bees, the troll farm. That's how I know. Like, let's just say Rabbit goes live, and 3 or 4 people will go in and give cash apps and this, that, and the third. That has never happened to me unless I was a mean girl. That's how I know.
Okay, I think I just keep getting it confused because you keep saying you, and I keep thinking you're talking to me directly, but you're talking like to a general audience because I've never shared out White Rabbit or anything. I'm like
using that as an analogy.
Yeah, I understand. Well, you know, I
And when
think
I
that
say
there's
you, I do mean you, X Factor. Absolutely mean you. You are part of the swarm of bees. Just like you couldn't be on more opposite ends of Constant Sue, but she's still part of that swarm of bees. You don't ask her, but you do me. That's how I know. Thank you, honey.
I don't ask her what. What are you talking about?
I said, like yesterday, you were like, Constant Sue, can you get me this video? And then she'll go get it. That will net, like when I would say, hey, Crazy Chicken Lady, since you're my mod, can you share out? I don't know how. Crazy
Oh,
Chicken Lady, can you put links down? I don't know how. But you were just doing it over at Dazed and Rabbits. That's how I got
oh,
your link. Things like that. Y'all made it real obvious that I'm on the outside of this swarm of bees that goes into this chat. Okay, we're over here at Ghost and we're giving Ghost and Peachy all this support and cash apps and memberships. Okay, he just closed out his live. Now we're going to go over here to this